shifting focus from IT to FMCG then, and FMCG companies have been chomping on decent gains as easing raw material prices could aid margin growth in the coming quarters. Which segments will benefit most and which could continue to lag? Winnie joins in to explain. Winnie?
So good morning, and obviously talking about the FMCG companies, let's not forget earnings season is just around the corner, and how raw material prices move impacts the margins of the company. Obviously most of the companies have taken in terms of a cost control measure already coming in. Now look at the trends that we're seeing coming in terms of the pricing. When you look at the palm oil prices, they have seen a decline of 40% on a year-on-year basis, while on a quarter-on-quarter basis also we're seeing a correction coming in. Other than that, copra prices that have seen a correction year-on-year basis as well as on a quarter-on-quarter basis as well. We've seen wheat prices correct on a quarter-on-quarter basis, but still wheat prices a bit on the higher end when you look at it on a year-on-year basis. Quarter-on-quarter basis, yes, a correction that has come in terms of the wheat prices. Now sugar prices and wheat prices, when you look at it both on a year-on-year basis, we are seeing an increase, while even for sugar on a quarter-on-quarter we are seeing an increase coming in as well. And lastly, PFD, yes, PFED, that on a year-on-year basis has seen a decline, but on a quarter-on-quarter basis, when you look at it, there's an uptick coming in there. So now which companies get impacted by this? When you talk about palm oil prices, mainly is used in soaps as well as in biscuits as well. You use a bit of palm oil prices as well. So yes, this is the breakup of raw material costs. So obviously in terms of GCPL soaps that they're making, GCPL 20% of the cost of raw material is about palm oil. HUL 25% is palm oil cost, that is in the raw material cost, Nestle 10% and Britannia 15%. So obviously palm oil prices correcting does benefit these companies. So yes, keeping an eye out on these FMCG companies. Let's move on and talk about some of the companies that are impacted in terms of the discretionary side. That's your paint segment. So you have crude prices, TiO2 prices, VAM and HPDE prices, that's the packing prices. When these start seeing a correction coming in, they support the paint companies and the paint margins as well. Now when you look at it in the terms of trends coming in here, both on a year-on-year basis and quarter-on-quarter basis also, we are seeing a decline in these prices. So that is surely going to be supporting the margins for paint companies, whether you look at it in terms of Asian Paints, Pidilite, all this does start benefiting the companies as well. Other than that, rural recovery, that's an important factor that we should keep an eye out on as well, because that is something that will impact it in terms of the companies as well. And for Marico, margins are expected to flattish because not much of the basket comes from these products and these commodities. Other than that, in terms of sugar, wheat and tea, keep an eye out on that, because if that sees an increase, there is an increase that comes in the basket for biscuit makers. For tea prices, obviously keeping an eye out on Tata Consumers, because tea prices increases impacts the margins over there as well. But yes, most of them have seen a correction and expect an improvement in terms of margins for the company.
Right. Thanks so much for that, Vinny, for bringing us that story. But